speaks now, please, and I'll have it muted down, but I'll see it flash. That way I don't have Skype dinging up on the stream. Okay, make sure the squish is coming through okay.
Check. 1, 2, 3, check.
Yep, you're coming through loud and clear. And your footage is there.
Cool. Portal ironing board.
Okay. Make sure I've got my OBS up where I need it. Damn it, it's flashed.
Camera controller. That's not what I wanted. Oh, what are you doing, silly?
Why is TS not showing up in my volume mixer? Oh, of course, because I've got it running through my new little program. So what I need to do is I need to take TS off of that. Options. No, I don't. I just need to do that. There we go. Yeah, only type to me in TS mission because I've got that muted and I can see it right there. That's one big old Kisho face.
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom it back a little bit and fix it, but...
Yeah, you were fine as you were just then.
Yeah?
Yep, just like that.
Okay.
I think what we're gonna have to do a poor man's green screen.
Eventually, yeah.
Just get a big old white sheet. Just get some fabric dye. Poor man's green screen, about $10.
Yeah. I could probably go buy some poster board and put it up on the back of the chair, too.
Just big enough to cover your head.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, God, and Mercury's there. She is going to kill us all. Okay, oh God, the delay is bad today.
A little bit. It's about 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's up to 10. But hey, it's still better than the 30 Twitch was giving us. Challenging the intro. I like that. I don't think he's drinking Mountain Dew mission.
No, I'm actually drinking tea.
Uh-huh.
I am, seriously, because if I was drinking alcohol, I'd be drinking that.
Fair enough. And if I was drinking alcohol, I'd be drinking that. And there goes my webcam. There it is. And I'd be drinking that. Nice little touch of Morgan's. And
Got a little
not
cat menu, do you?
And not that stupid sissy spice stuff either. I'm talking good old-fashioned imported rum.
Jamaican rum.
Actually,
it's not hot tea. This is Southern sweet tea, Michon. It's different.
Actually, this is imported from Germany.
What the hell is Jamaican rum never mind, Germans make everything.
Well, you could say the same over there. What's Boddington's a British beer when it's supposed to be imported, being made in Texas?
Getting watered down, tastes like horse piss.
Can't stand American beer. You guys trying to
Yes.
do a British beer is like, ugh.
You know what the biggest problem? Well,
Because the hops are
besides the fact,
different.
well, there's that, and then the way they treat the water is different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not a mug; it's a cup.
It's a thing. Yes,
Mugs have handle.
I don't need to know the Ordocast is live on Hitbox. Go away. I know it's live on Hitbox. I put it live on Hitbox. Stupid thing. Okay, so I think we are just about ready. I think. Okay, last checks. Mission, you got your chats up, correct? Squishy, you got your show notes up?
Yep,
Okay.
I've got the stream up too.
Okay, got any links loaded that you need loaded?
I don't need any links really. I don't think. There's a couple, but not many.
Okay. Got nothing for command deck because those are butthead. Although we do have awards, so that's something.
For a change.
Okay, got that. Mission, gonna have some work for you this week. Yep, that's right. And screwed them up twice.
Staying the fuck out of that conversation.
Yeah, same here. Okay, it is time, so I think we need to get started.
All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm just breaking that off, putting that over there, and putting my show notes there, and I am done.
Okay, we're gonna kick it off in 3, 2, 1. Come one, come all to the single most exciting non-content patch in gaming. Why non-content? Have you ever listened to me for more than 5 minutes? If you haven't, consider yourself lucky. If you have, the only thing you can do is put wax on cotton, stick it in your ears, and hope to God the sirens crash your ships on the rocks. The Ordocast, the only place on the grid where Skynet and Mercury look at the new Cortana and goes, fuck, I can't even fix that shit.
Welcome to the Ordocast, everyone. This is episode 14, Particle Decay. It's great to see you all here, and kicking off, we actually have some awards.
Oh my God.
I know, right? We actually have awards. So, Keisha, why don't you list those off for us, and while I do something very flashy with the graphics.
All right. Well, we've got Burnout, Culex, Hezric, Hulkman, Jai, Mosh, Nefarix, Requiem, I can never remember pronounce her name.
Zerke, Thek.
Yes.
There's two
Thek.
there. There's two there. It got double line for some reason.
Oh, okay. Zerke and Thek.
Yeah, Zerke and Thek.
Yep. Tyke, Wong Nim, and what the fuck is his name doing on there?
I know, right? Someone had to give
Who
him
put
an award.
Zoza in for a freaking award? Like, seriously. But yes. So if you guys take a look at the screen there, you fucking asshole. If you guys take a look at the screen, you'll see what everybody was.
Oh, there you go. I'll put it back. There you go.
You can see what everybody was given their awards for. As you can also see, ESFA has been very busy getting the visuals set up for this week.
Although
I'm assuming that when we actually have awards, this is going to be what you're doing every week.
Yeah, I'll flash the names up there like they are now, so that way they get their little bit of internet fame and Autocast fame. Exactly. But you know, it's so rare to have awards, we might never see this screen again.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So you never know. We might see it again, we might not. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yep.
So, Squishy, what have you been up to?
Working mostly.
Working? That's no fun.
Yes.
It's no
No, it's
fun.
not fun, but it pays the bills.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
I have played a little bit of TOR, but I'm sure we'll be talking about that because you did a 14 fucking hour live stream the other day.
This Ordocast, for the very first time since it came back, there is no TOR news. Because there was such a big live stream last Tuesday because of the launch event. It was insane. Me and Carvey doing that. We're getting all the information out there, getting people hyped up, and then all of a sudden the message comes through, the servers are up, and bang, that's it. We're in the game and just streaming for hours and hours and hours. Although
Having fun though.
it was a good day for both Ordo, the chapter, and kind of a shameless plug for me as well, because I think just on YouTube alone, the video has had over 350 views.
Which is pretty good for you.
Well, that's just on the Ordo's new YouTube channel. So many people tuned in for that live stream and then shared it. It was unreal. I think the analytics showed there's been something like over 2,000 minutes watched already. And, I've got it right here. I'll just take a quick peek. Because, Zoza, finally, yeah. Let's see. The channel itself has had 1,160 views. 11,895 minutes estimated watched already.
Wow.
That's huge for only that many viewers. Mm-hmm. That is huge. Over 11,000 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So it was a fantastic day for Ordo as far as our social media and live stream was going. It was an amazing day. And so many people tuned in for that. I think we also got a couple of new guildies out of that as well for both the Republic and Empire side until, I think, something I'll have to look into. But yeah, as far as social media goes, that was huge, an absolutely huge thing. We had something like 10 new subs for YouTube and across our various platforms such as Hitbox and Twitch, and it was a fantastic day. It really was.
Sounds like you had a lot of fun, even with all the stress.
Oh, it was fun. That was a lot of planning. It was a lot of stress. But it all paid off. I think that's the biggest launch event we've ever had for a single title in Ordo, and it's the single biggest live stream event I've ever done. And it was good to see that it came off fantastically, and I can't wait to do something like that again.
Oh, that's what happens when you bust your ass and put your heart and soul into something.
Although next time I'm going to get some Ordo minions to do the work, I'm just going to present it.
Sean.
Mission. Speaking of which, the Ordocast now has a new team member. And that is indeed our very own Mission Moonlight, who comes in as our new social relations guy for when we're doing things like the Ordocast, when we're doing live stream events. And he's our editor, our T-boy, the guy we send out to get the shopping.
He's our gopher.
Yeah.
He's our bitch.
We're even going to give him a pair of little gopher ears as well. I'm sure he's going to bitch slap us for that.
Yeah, it's fine. See, T-boy. Yeah, no, it's TEA, as in tea.
Yes.
The stuff you drink when you send you out to go get hot tea.
Yeah, tea, coffee, Red Bull, snacks.
Oh man, this is going to be one of those days. Ordo professionalism, folks, right here, 24/7.
Ordo Pro, you know it. So, actually have some news from Odin as well, from Auxiliary. Let's see. Neverwinter. From the 29th of October to the 4th of November, the Masquerade of Liars begins. This is the annual Halloween event for Neverwinter, and this year, the companion you get is a skeleton. I guess that's pretty cool. Guess that is pretty cool. Also, a server-wide hide-and-seek contest finding the Neverwinter community team on the 26th of October. So that is on Monday. So if you play Neverwinter, there's a good event for you to get involved with.
it's almost November. Holy crap.
I know, right?
Where the fuck is this year gone, man?
That's what happens when you're in an auto year. Things change so quickly.
Yeah. Now, come to speaking of that, I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, since bringing up the end of the year, just kind of a little segue, or not a segue, but a non sequitur. I posted a thread on the forums about your top 5 or top 10 worst and best games for this year. So what we're going to do is at the end of this month, we're going to sit down and take a look at the list that you guys have come up with the best, or the games that have the most. Basically, the games that are listed the most are going to go into a voting category. We're going to set up a poll, and then the ones that top out for the top 5 or top 10 best or worst games of 2015, we're going to do a countdown list, hopefully, either towards the end of the year or just after the new year when we have some time, and go over all the stuff that you guys have declared the best games of 2015 and the worst games of 2015. So that'll be something a little fun, something to do.
Oh yes, it's going to be interesting. I'm sure that'll give birth to quite a few rants.
Yeah, there's a couple of those that I've got them queued up for later on.
He's got a whole list about that big.
Well, no, I'm trying not to do the list because it takes up too much time. We don't want to be here all night.
Yeah, good point.
But I've got 2 for sure, and if anything comes up while we're talking, then I'm sure I'll break off into a rant during those things too.
Well, let's see if we've got something for you to rant about in auxiliary. Let's see, Final Fantasy XIV, All Saints Wake, the annual Halloween event for Final Fantasy. This year's rewards include a flaying, I think Odin meant flying broom mount, various housing items, and a Halloween-themed clothing set. And it seems it's one for Halloween events, because Heroes of the Storm, the new StarCraft hero Artanis, will be released for purchase on the 27th of October. He is currently playable for players that pre-purchased SC2 Legacy of the Void. Payday 2 released a new heist, First World Bank 2.0, last week after a series of updates resulting from Crime Fest. And Team Fortress 2, this year's Halloween event. Hold it! This year's Halloween event will be all 6 previous events at once due to Valve working on a large update for Team Fortress 2. Also have some things here from Mission. Sit on it. See, Rebel Galaxy, an indie. Do you know what? Why am I reading that? You read something. Go on, you read it.
Because you're having me bite my tongue. That's why.
I didn't realise the little check mark was in blue. Go on, that's you.
Okay.
That's all you, bro. You go for it.
All right, so Rebels Galaxy, it's an indie space game that looks like a AAA game according to the reviewers. Offers up to 20 hours of gameplay with massive systems, big ships, big guns, and I can totally see Star Wars mods for this in the future. Sword Coast Legends is a new RPG that looks like the good old classics like Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Neverwinter Nights, that kind of stuff. He says we've had a few Ordo members that have been playing it. It's had some release problems, so we might want to hold off on buying it for now until it's patched. But right now the reviews are really good. People are really looking forward to it, and I think that's one of the things people are wanting, is something that's kind of going back a little old school. Vermintide. This has the Michon stamp of approval. It says he's super excited for the game because it promises to become one of the biggest hits of 2015. It's a Left 4 Dead 2 style game focused on melee weapons set in the Warhammer universe. We've got quite a few former and current Ordo members that are playing. They bought it, and they've had a lot of fun. Afavis throws in that tanks are like a million times more dangerous. There's greater emphasis on teamwork, specifically escorting teammates while they handle the objectives, and the characters always provide plenty of sassy comments as you play, because we all know Afavis loves sassy comments. Michon asked him, so is this something you want Ordo to play? And he says, fuck yes, it's a goddamn awesome game. So there's that for Vermintide.
Good stuff.
Yep. Fallout 4 has now gone gold. This means the 1.0 version is done. The discs are getting printed. I'm going to go off on that later.
Green Man
Gaming is offering a 23% off special on Fallout 4 this weekend for members. Steam is holding a Fallout franchise sale for all the old games this weekend, so if you want it, go check that out.
As Steam does. Quick, get your wallets out.
Shut up and take my money.
Yep. All praise to Gabe. Hold it. So let's move into some chapter news, shall we? Let's get this along. Everyone's here for the rant. We know it. Let's face it. And he's just sitting there. He's just itching to get into it. You could see it. Okay, so let's see. Guild Wars 2 Hard Thorns is live. The expansion went live on October 23rd, and this is a buy-to-play expansion. But in normal Guild Wars fashion, you only have to pay once, then it's yours forever to play for free. This expansion adds new advanced classes for every class, new story, and new areas to explore. And Guild Wars 2 is introducing what they call the action camera. I'm going to beat the hell out of you two, I swear. This is why I say team speak. That I have muted. That I will see flash when I'm ready. I will get to you. All they can hear is behind me when I'm talking. Go bing, bing, bing. I'm going to beat you both.
Well, we're trolling you. That's part of it.
I know you are. That's why I'm going to beat you. And Carvey too.
Carvey would enjoy it though.
Oh, I know she would. And don't be sitting there blushing and grinning, Carvey. We know what you're doing. So anyway, Guild Wars 2 is introducing what they call the action camera. This is a first-person perspective to Guild Wars 2, and it claims to allow players to play most of the game in an action first-person view, where you aim with the help of the auto-aim system and swing your sword right in the face of the enemies. Mission says he has not tried it himself yet, so he can't tell you if it's any good, but rest assured that it will be tested night style. I hope night style isn't anything like commando style, because then I'd be worried.
Yep.
I would be worried. And let's see, there's also news of guild halls. You are now able to quest for and claim your guild hall for your guild. There very much seems to be a Guild Wars 2 version of the Neverwinter Strongholds, but Mission says that he won't argue about who came up with the idea first. But it's a nice addition that gives the guild something to work on together. Among the first things you do once the guild hall is claimed is that you repair to the tavern and build a mine. But remember, first you have to fight to claim that guild hall, so make sure you have plenty of people with you. There's no real info what the guild hall is actually good for, more than a place for the guild to call their own.
Yeah, that's one of the many, many things that I really miss from SWG is they did the guild halls right.
I loved that. I really did.
Yep. Those were the good days.
Do you know,
it was a base. It was a place you would actually operate out of. People would get there on a regular basis, and nobody does that anymore.
I know. Do you know, that's why I think SWG still holds a special place for me. It's why I still pop in and play the EMU.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, that was the last real full MMO. Not all this linear crap. Start with quest A, move on to quest B, to quest C, and just keep doing that until you end game. There was no end game. You went and you made your own entertainment. What should we do today? Let's go kill a crate dragon. Then we'll go do the Death Watch bunker. We'll go back and kill another crate dragon. Feed Keisho to a crate dragon. Then we'll go kill some
crate dragon hunts. Oh, the crate dragon hunts. Oh my god. You guys have no idea how many times I got fucking eaten alive because that asshole right there. Kisho, let's go do on a crate dragon hunt. Okay. Aren't crate dragons used? Yeah, but don't worry about it. There'll be like 90 of us there, so nothing's gonna happen to you. Fucking thing walks by, swipes its tail, and I'm dead like 2 seconds later, and all I hear is, fuck, Kish, why didn't you stay back? How much further back can I get? This is how Esva and I became friends. That was my introduction to online gaming, was a fucking crate dragon hunt right after I got through the tutorial. This son of a bitch fucking drags me out to Tatooine and goes, "Oh, you're gonna like this. This will be fun." Come to Tatooine, they said. Hunt krayt dragons, they said. Everybody, it'll be fun.
Oh my god!
No, he didn't use me as bait. Krayt dragons were everywhere. They would aggro on everything.
Oh
it didn't
my
matter
God.
what the fuck it was.
Okay, well, here's the actual story. Okay. On the server we was on, there was a little house up by the Krayt Dragon graveyard where we had some supplies. We had weapons, repair kits, we had buffs, we had our stims, we had all this. We take him in there, we get him geared up, and we say, right, we're going to go out there. I'm going to tank him. You just stay behind me. We'll kill it. We'll get you some Krayt Dragon pearls. That'll be good for you. Okay. I run out, and then all I see is this little Keisho go running past me with someone quick, and he's dead. And it just comes up over chat. I think he's just become a Krayt Dragon's toothpick.
Yeah, the Krayt Dragon was using my lightsaber as a toothpick. Now, keep in mind too, this, like I said, this is when I first started playing MMOs. I had no idea what any of the fucking buttons did. I had no idea. I didn't know what aggro range was. I didn't know what the aggro distances were and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know what aggro was. I was about as noob gets.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do what he's saying. I'm staying back. I don't understand that by staying back, he meant way back.
Yeah, way back.
Remember, he's melee. So what I'm literally standing behind him. As he's saying, okay, stay behind me. I'm standing behind him, not understanding I need to stay back where the casters are at.
Yeah.
Oh, those were good days.
I think it was only, 3 hours out of the tutorial, because we said, oh, hey, Keisho, come and play this game. It's just gone free to play. Come and try it out. And yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of the people that I met there, we still talk to on a regular basis. I've got them. They're all on Skype. We still get together every now and again.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We need to go live stream some SWG.
I was just about to say that.
We need to live stream some SWG. We need to get back in there because you started just before the NGE hit, didn't you? So sometime after patch 13.
Yeah, right after the CU.
Yeah, so and that's where it is. It's at the combat upgrade, so patch 13 when they introduced jump to light speed.
Yeah. No, see, and it hadn't gone free to play. It was still pay to play.
That's right, yeah, because you bugging that you couldn't get a subscription.
Yep.
So you ended up going out and getting the time card or something, didn't you? I think.
Yeah, that was my introduction. Yeah. Now the other thing you got to keep in mind too, I was running DSL at the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh
my God, this is when I first. This is right after I got out of the Marine Corps. Kath and I had only been married a few months. I was living in Toronto. We had DSL, which wasn't bad, but it was AT&T, and up there it sucks. It was 512 down and 256 up.
Damn.
It was 15 years ago. You realize that?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, 12 years ago.
Yeah, I was going
12 years ago.
I was going to say 15 years ago. No, it wasn't 15.
Yeah, 12 years ago.
Yeah, 12.
That's how long we fucking known each other.
Oh my God.
That's about how long I've known Zoza and Actai too.
Jeez.
And yeah, we've been around for a long time and hanging out, having a lot of fun with each other for a long time.
Wow, I need a holiday. See you in 12 years. So, Wildstar.
So, enough of a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, we're going to have to live stream some SWG soon.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So, Wildstar.
Yes, Wildstar.
The Halloween event.
Yes.
Shades Eve is here. So, it's here to fill your dreary lives with joy and good cheer. Or maybe it'll turn dreary and scared and afraid. As the festivities sour with the tale of Jack Shade. A menacing figure of Allegorous ancestry. Less about jump scares and more about the chemistry. Thought to have begun as a spacefaring germ with symptoms that make even old Mondo Zack squirm. When a lone child emerged with apparent immunity and created a vaccine for the entire community. So, you know what this sounds like? Sounds like rat ghouls.
It does.
Yep.
It does.
It sounds like rat ghouls. So there's a few things to go with it. Quiet down. It's an expedition, unlike most of them. So it's a town full of people that are too happy to host anything, but they're not always what they appear to be. The capital city is all decorated for the event. Special housing decors for all the player houses. The special rewards, a whole bunch of stuff. And as a big fan service, WildStar is going to offer a Back to the Future themed hoverboard that looks like the DeLorean.
It does look pretty
it's
sweet.
It's going to be available around the 23rd and the Back to the Future date. So basically the 21st to the 25th.
And there it is in the chat.
Yes.
It does look pretty sweet.
Yep.
Although, I was talking to Mission about this earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he come up with the best point. He said, well, in Back to the Future, weren't they riding on hoverboards anyway?
Yep. Now, STO, sorry, I'm being attacked by a cat.
Put your pussy down. Stop stroking it. Get on with your
STO
job.
is doing the hoverboards.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, it would have been better to have the actual hoverboards, but I guess that's kind of cool. A DeLorean version.
Yeah.
If I had any idea of how to get it, I'd log into WildStar and try for it, but it's probably not going to happen.
Not anytime soon.
Let's see. So, again, right on my show notes, we do have Command Deck. And that's supposed to be where Zoza gives us some info that he wants you guys to know from like the weekly command meetings that go on. Still, nothing from Zoza. You're fired.
You know what? Throw the notes back up on the screen again. Let's let everybody take a look and see what we're looking at.
Hang on. Okay, I will throw the notes back up on the screen. Let's see. When I can remember how to work it.
The cat gave me the cut eye for you.
See, window capture. There we go. There's our show notes. There you go. See, there's our show notes.
Yep. Now you see that great big huge yellow thing that says Q&A with Kishio. If you go right above that, it says Command Deck. That's where all of Zoza's stuff is supposed to go.
See, right there. See, right there. See, a little Back to the Future style, you're fired. See, that's what's meant to go there. See, Zoza, see, you dropped the ball again. Look at that. See, look at that. I don't know. What are we going to do with him? I say we should fire him and put you in charge.
Yeah.
That'll
Apparently
go down
I'm
well.
scary. I scare people off.
Aww. Big fluffy
Well, I
guy
mean, it
like
probably
you.
doesn't help that I've got Julius quoted from Pulp Fiction as my signature on the forums.
Very true. So do you know what? I think ahead of time, I think we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to throw out the random YouTube video now. And then, because I know it's going to bug Kishi, because I know he's just waiting to rant. I can just see it like he's gritting his teeth and full smiles. So I think I'm going to throw out the random YouTube video now. And then we'll have our little rants, our little talks, our little talking shit back and forth. And then I think we'll have a little bit of a Q&A with you guys.
Sounds like a plan.
I think that definitely sounds like a plan. So let me get rid of all the unneeded graphics here. I'll throw that on the top. Actually, no, I don't need to get rid of that graphic because it's not going to be a full screen this week. So let's see, shall we? And there you go. Did it come up? No. There we go.
Blame Zoza, it's his fault.
Yes.
Rainbow 6. Experts in close quarters battle and hostage rescue. Assembled from special forces teams around the world. The counterterrorism units.
We've run ops in 47 countries. When a job's too dangerous for everyone else, we go in. The regiment's been active since World War II. Few knew we even existed. We pull the best from the Army, Navy, and Air Force. Only a handful make it through training. To make the regiment, you need strength, skill, and determination. But more than anything, you need character.
Touchdown. Smoke, you are go for countermeasures.
Wings on our badge because it's in our blood. We hit from above. The adrenaline, it floods your whole body. You need to control it, focus it. Time stretches, and you get really calm. You feel ready to engage. Our tactics combine top-down entry, toxic gas, and overwhelming speed. We each bring a skill. Combined, we're lethal. It's what we do. We're the regiment.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, that they took. It looks like they pulled a lot of that out of the actual Rainbow Six book, because I mean that was He Who Dares. Well, I mean I know that's an old thing, but that was something that got repeated in that book several times.
Well, He Who Dares Wins. That's the
SAS.
yeah. Well, Royal Commandos.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Royal Marine Commandos, which is actually what I know most of you Americans here, so don't pull your guns on me, but that's actually what the U.S. Marines are based on.
Yep. We are. We're our cousins are the Royal Marines, and that's a lot of the stuff we got from them.
Actually, looks like a really good game.
It does. Now, that airplane scene is that was pulled right. Well, other than the shield being freaking unstacked and all that shit, but most of the stuff you see in there that was taken right out of the book.
Mm-hmm. But then again, isn't that
cool.
what the pretty much what the SWAT team and SAS do for training anyway? Is like hostage situations and
depends on the situation.
things
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah. Mossad does that a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'm going to regret saying this. And I'm going to regret it. I don't want to say it. I really don't. I can't believe I'm going to say it. Go on, Keisha. I know you've been waiting for this. You've been itching. You've been grinding your teeth. You've been almost falling out of your chair. So come on, what the hell? What kind of bug do you have up your ass this week?
I'm going to quote Peter Griffin here. You know what really grinds my gears? There's a couple of things this week. The first one, you guys know how I am about microtransaction and pay to win and that kind of shit. Well, the guys that created Payday, they done fucked it up. They've done fucked it up. The whole thing with Payday 2, because Payday was a closet success. Nobody expected it to go as far as it was. So it was amazing. Payday 2 came out. Everybody expected it to have like a freemium model, that kind of stuff. And, they do. But their big thing was, we are never going to have microtransactions. Ever. Right? Okay, fine. We all understand. You can't really make that kind of a promise. You're going to have to, with a game that's, it's going to happen. But the problem is, you still have to buy the game in order to play the game. So this is another one, as Jim Sterling put it, this is a pay-to-win model. Or pay-to-play model, my bad. This one is really fucked up. Because not only do you have to, you've got microtransactions, which, if you're playing for free, it's not a big deal, but you're not. Now with the thing, not only there are lockboxes that get dropped, or safes they call them. They get dropped after missions, which is, not that big a deal. Yeah, yeah. What Angelin just said, yeah, Payday 2 effed it up by not only asking you to pay to enter, but now they're making it pay to win, which he's right, and I'm about to get into that, Angelin. The reason they fucked it up is because what happens is when you go through and you complete the heist and all this stuff, all the stuff you normally do, one of the rewards you get is a safe. Now, the only way to unlock the safe is to use real money to unlock the safe, which is fine. The problem is the stuff you unlock doesn't necessarily apply to the stuff that you already own. So the skins and all that stuff will give you boost to your weapons or your kit or whatever. The thing is, you have to pay to open the safe, and then you have to pay to get the weapons or the kit that those upgrades apply to. Now think about that for a second. You're paying $30 or $40, whatever it is, for Payday 2. You get into the game, you get the rewards. They stop. Now here's the other thing. It's not like you're still getting other rewards. You're losing rewards to get this safe. Okay? So you're basically, they're gutting you, and I haven't looked to see how bad it is. I haven't, because the freemium or the free to play weekend is over. But when I saw that, it really, really pissed me off, and it got so bad that Jim Sterling did a Jimquisition about it. I think it was on Monday, and I came across all this shit last Saturday or Sunday or something. It was really bad. And it wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't for the fact that the developers told us that they weren't going to do that, because for that specific reason, they didn't want to do pay to play. But you can't run a game like that necessarily without having, because the money's going to be there. People are going to want the money. So there's that. And I don't know. You guys know how I feel about pay to play. And the worst part about it is when you do finally get those, when you pay for those upgrades, it puts you head and shoulders above people that don't have the upgrades. These aren't cosmetic skins. These aren't just cosmetic masks. They aren't cosmetic kit. This isn't stuff that's going to change the way you look. It actually gives your stats. It adds a bonus to your stats, a permanent bonus to your stats. So if you shell out the money, it's pay to win, and it's bullshit. It is a crock of bullshit, and I've had enough. Payday 2 was a lot of fun. I really had a lot of fun playing that game. I'm probably never going to set foot in it again, ever. I hate to say that because it is a lot of fun. The other thing I was going to rant off about is, you guys know how I feel about DRM. And Squeaky Otter's right. Pay to win is not the freaking way to go. I hate DRM with a passion. I understand that people thought it was necessary, but the first DRM that I really came across was way back in the day with TIE Fighter, which was on sale not too long ago. What ended up happening was you had to buy the game, and then you had an instruction booklet. And what would happen is when you started the game up, a little screen would pop in and say, go to page such and such, and then it would give you 3 symbols. Tell us what these symbols mean, because there's 2 symbols on every page. So you go through, you look it up, you type, the symbols were, whatever it is in Arabic, and then you type out whatever the word is. It was usually the name of a Star Destroyer, something along those lines. And it would let you into the game. That was basically a way to combat piracy. Didn't work too well, because all that would happen was people would go on to what they used to, I don't know if a lot of you guys aren't old enough to remember these. They called them BBSs, bulletin board systems. They would go on, and then they would just write down what all the stuff was. And then later on it turned into, now the good old games has it, and the DOS box and all that stuff. They've found a way to bypass it. Then we went into Origin, or not Origin, but then we went into always online DRM, which was a bad thing. It was a pain in the ass. Then we got into Origin doing their thing, where you had to be hooked up to Origin in order to get into some of the games, and you had to be hooked up to A couple of the other services like Ubisoft, their Uplay system, you have to be logged into the system to get into their games. Yeah, Leisure Suit Larry did have that too. But a lot of people figured out that it's not working. It's not going to work because people are smarter than developers, and they're going to turn around and figure out a way to get around it. So it kind of dropped off for a while, and then it came back again, and now we're back on this big DRM kick. And the whole reason I'm bringing this up, and Mashawn and Rick or Esfa and I kind of talked about this before the show. Fallout 4. There are people out there that still like to buy the physical discs. I'm one of them. I like having the discs. When you buy Fallout 4, you're going to get the game, but there are going to be a buttload of files that are not included on the disc. You put the disc in, you install it, it forces you to download Steam, you log into Steam, and it finishes the download. Now, my whole problem with DRM and the way they're doing this kind of stuff is what happens if we go through another video game crash. And Angela's right. That's not stopping piracy at all. What that's going to do is going to make people want to pirate it even more. So now what's going to happen is you're going to have people who who get the game, download the files, put it up on Pirate Bay or whatever the equivalent is with all the files already there, which means Steam is going to turn around and put out a patch that breaks it, which means the guys are going to go back and reverse engineer it and undo the patch that Steam just did. It's not going to work. And that's the whole reason I'm bringing it up is because when people ask, okay, well, if I buy the disc, am I going to get the game? They said, well, no. And they explain they have to go get the files. And they ask why, and it said to prevent piracy, which is a crock of shit. It's not going to stop piracy. We all know it. We all know it. That's my biggest thing is if we go through another video game crash where people keep saying, well, online gaming systems like Origin and Ubisoft and Steam, they're too big to fail. Well, people said the same freaking thing back in 2008 about the banks, and we see where we are now. We saw what happened in the late 70s and early 80s, if you guys were alive for that, with the video game crash. We're repeating it right now. All the stupid bullshit, the copycats, the shovelware, all that crap that came out in the late 70s caused the video game crash. And the only people that really came out of it with their shirts, on their back was Nintendo. We're headed for another video game crash. We just haven't quite reached the bubble yet. And when it happens, all these games that are on these systems like Steam and Ubisoft, if these companies go under and the servers shut down, now what? Oops. Sorry, I'm getting. Now what are we going to do? Good Old Games is doing what they can do to try to help us out with a lot of stuff and downloading it there. But there are video game developers out there that are cracking down because it's their IP. They don't want it released, even though they've got shit all to do with the game anymore. It hasn't been touched in decades. They won't let places like Good Old Games have it. That was the big thing with a lot of the LucasArts games before Disney bought them out. You couldn't find them anywhere. If you didn't own a physical copy of the disc, there was no fucking way to play it. And now you got this, you've got this. It's the biggest drawback to the cloud the cloud system that's going on right now is when this stuff cracks and when it finally dies. Right, Odin's right. They do have an offline mode. The problem is, though, what happens after let's say, for example, the system crashes. We go through the video game crash. You have to go back and your hard drive gets corrupted. You don't have a chance to back your games up. Now what do? The $5,000 or $10,000 or how much you got invested in Steam, all those games are gone. You can't get them back. The servers are shut down. Let's take a look. Let's look at it from a historical point of view. What are we going to do? Later on in the future when the servers do finally shut down 25, 30, 40 years from now, there's not really going to be a wreck. Well, if there will be because people are going to have it. They're creating online repositories for it now, but there are games that we'll never see again. It's part of our history as gamers, and it's poof, gone. And it's basically, and I know it's a little bit different from the DRM stuff that I started on, but it's kind of all rolled together. It's the whole thing's bad, and this bullshit has got to fucking stop. And the only way it's going to stop is if we get together as gamers and say, fuck it, we've had enough. No more. Period. And it's not going to happen because we're all a bunch of fucking weak assholes and we want to play our video games. So, but I mean, that's where we're at. I understand developers want to protect their IP. I get that. I'm an author. I write books. I understand want to protect your IP. All right, because you put a lot of times you put your heart and soul into this stuff. This is your baby. This is your kid you're dealing with. So I mean, I understand that to a point. That's for the developers. The publishers don't give a fuck. This is a cash cow. They don't give a rat's ass what the developer's artistic vision is for the game. All they care about is it going to make money. If they can't make money off of it, fuck it, they don't care. So they'll slap DRM on it. So that's really it. I mean, that's all I've got to say. It's you guys know where I stand on all this stuff. You guys know where I stand on pay to win, on pay to play, on day one DLC, season passes, all that shit. It's up to us. It's up to every last one of us to get this shit fixed. And until we fucking get together and stop worrying about stupid things, bickering back and forth at each other, and arguing over bullshit, and until we get together and we sing out in one voice and tell the goddamn publishers we've had a fucking enough, we're going to continue to get bitten in the ass. So, as Forrest Gump would say, that's all I got to say about that. So, there you go. There's your rant, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
You done?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Positive?
I'm done. Yep. Totally.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. So, one of the big things, actually, that I noticed leading up to E3 not too long ago, and it's something that was also brought up again during New York Comic Con, was something that Visceral are up to. Visceral Game Studios. All they have said is that they are working on a Star Wars IP that is going to be a cross between Uncharted and the unfinished Star Wars 1313.
Cool.
Now let's let it sink in. Now, I'm sure most of you heard of Star Wars 1313. It was a game that LucasArts were developing.
Yep, I was looking forward to it.
Shortly before the project was cancelled and they got bought out by Disney. Now, 1313 hasn't been completely axed. There's been a lot of whisperings coming out of Disney Interactive that 1313 is on their server system. They have the code and they have the initial pre-alpha build, and it's something they could be revisiting sometime in the near future.
Cool.
That's unconfirmed. As I said, it's whisperers coming out of Disney Interactive. But this is what is going on with the Visceral IP. Let's see, it said that Shut Up There is from 1313, the dark, gritty Star Wars game that was in development before LucasArts was closed down. There isn't much chance of that seeing the light of day for now, but its spirit may live on in Visceral's upcoming Star Wars game. Voice actor Nolan North revealed some tidbits about the game during a panel which was recorded and posted online. He doesn't appear to be lending his throat to Visceral game, but he does seem to know a fair bit about it. It's styled after the Uncharted series, as Uncharted writer Amy Hennig is working on the game, and that's not entirely surprising. If you're a big fan of Amy Hennig and her style of story, she has gone to EA and is going to reboot a brand new Star Wars franchise in the style of Uncharted. While talking about Henning's departure from Naughty Dog, I happen to know a lot about it, and it's going to be awesome.
Cool.
So Visceral are teaming up with EA to bring out a brand new Star Wars IP. When it's going to be released, no one knows. There's no more news coming out about it. They are staying very tightly lipped about it, more so than what they were over the early days of Battlefront when that was first announced. They are keeping this one so closely guarded, it is unreal. So we'll just have to see.
Yep, Michonne said it. All aboard the hype train.
No, I'm not boarding any more hype trains, especially after the disappointment that was Battlefront.
Yeah, I knew you were really looking forward to that, and I was afraid it was gonna be
I was really looking forward to it. I mean, DICE had so much potential there, and going into the alpha, I was trying to keep my opinions low, thinking, okay, well, they're rebooting a franchise here, because Battlefront was its own franchise. It's like, okay, they're rebooting a franchise here, don't expect too much, and I'm glad my expectations weren't too high. Because even in the alpha, it was just so disappointing. It's not so much it is Battlefront, it's more like it is the original Battlefield. The original Battlefield. I'm talking Battlefield 1942 here, Battlefield Vietnam. The original Battlefield games, not this crap they turned it into, like Battlefield Bad Company and Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. I'm talking original Battlefield.
It's a reskin Battlefield.
That's what it is. It's more like original Battlefield than it is Battlefront. For what it is, the game is good. For what it is, visually, it is stunning. It is beautiful. It can't be flawed technically. But obviously, it's got bugs. Every game has bugs. But from a technical standpoint, it works. It really does. But it just isn't Battlefront. It just isn't. And that really killed it for me. I mean, fair enough. If there's other game, I might eventually get it just to try the other game modes. But for what they released for the beta, it wasn't any different than what they released from the alpha. And there were still so many bugs there that were still in the alpha, which I was really proud and I was really happy because I was able to get into the alpha. But it was like, okay, yeah, I wasn't going to play the beta. I wasn't, but it was like, okay, yeah, well, I need to do it for you guys. I need to do some sort of Ordocast for it, so at least you guys have all the info. And I went into it with some hope, thinking, okay, yeah, they might have got rid of some of the bugs. They might have some of the other game modes. I was expecting to be able to do the Endor Assault. I was expecting to be able to go to the Jakku map and maybe do some of that in beta test, if only for a couple of hours. But to see it was just exactly the same stuff, and all they had done was slightly tweak the UI and slightly tweaked a couple of bugs, and it was just so disappointing. It really was. I hate to say it really did crush me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've played any you can think of any Star Wars game that's ever been made. Guaranteed I have played it for at least a couple of hours, at least. Any PC or console released Star Wars game, I have played it. Even Yoda stories. That's how far back my Star Wars gaming goes. This is the very first Star Wars title to ever really make me think, do you know what? I am actually really disappointed in the franchise. I was more disappointed with this than I was with episodes 1, 2, and 3.
You know what I think the difference is? I think what's going on is we finally reached a breaking point.
Yeah.
We've hit, we had Republic Commando, which was a great game, left us hanging. We all knew there's going to be another sequel for it, and they turned around and turned it into a bunch of novels, which is cool because the novels are fun.
Yeah.
But it's not what the fan base wanted. And then we had, KOTOR 1 and 2 came out, which were great. And then there was a bunch of little things, along the way. They'd slap a Star Wars name on it, and we've put up with a lot. We've forgiven a lot. We've dealt with a lot, and it's finally gotten to the point where, with Battlefield, I think we've grown up to the point where we've just had enough. We fucking had it. We're tired of
You know, I don't think it's even
giving
so
it a
much.
pass because it's a Star Wars game.
I don't think it's even so much that. I mean, any Star Wars fan will tell you they are the most forgiving fandom ever. Mm-hmm. The most forgiving. I mean, we really have put up with a lot of crap, and there has been, let's face it, some real shit out there. Yep. I mean, Shadows of the Empire. I mean, that was a crap game. You go through that story just for a crap ending.
That's true. Now, I will say the game was fun. The end sucked.
It was. It was all that build up for nothing.
For nothing.
But you know, it's just that when you see all the work they were putting into the new Battlefront, I mean, they went in, they got given access to the Lucas Vault. No other game company has been given that since, I think, X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter. No other Star Wars game. And the fact they were able to go in, they were given the ability to scan all the original studio scale models, get every detail down perfectly. You see the environments they were making, and it looked absolutely beautiful, and it just gave you so much hope. And there was so much they could have done with it. I mean, a single player campaign for that, similar to what they did with Battlefront 2 when you served it with 501st Legion, when you went from Geonosis all the way up to the end of Return of the Jedi. If they did that in this, I would pay $60 for that. I would pay $100 for a digital deluxe version. I would pay it if they gave us a single player campaign that had even 80 hours of replayability. I would pay that. $1 an hour. I would pay that. But then for them to see what they did, to see how much they could have done, and then just went, yeah, do you know what, that doesn't fit. It is the real first time I've ever been crushed by a Star Wars IP this much. I mean, hell, even TOR didn't even crush me that badly with some of the crap they've done. SWG turning itself into the next WoW clone when it came out with the NGE. That was bad, but it didn't crush me this bad. When they shut down servers, it didn't crush me this bad. Hell, even Star Wars Pod Racer never crushed me this bad. That was a great game. It was a racing game. It was fantastic. But then you had stuff so much replayability. I loved it, especially kicking Sebulba's ass. But this, oh my god!
But then we would have stuff. I can't remember the name of it, but it was basically Dance Dance Revolution skinned with Star Wars.
God, yeah. Hell, I've even played Star Wars Connect. That was supremely bad. But you know what? There's nothing quite like standing there going zoom, 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 and just really getting into it. Like, you know, it just made you feel like a kid, and that's what Star Wars is. It gives you back that bit of youth. Mm-hmm. It takes you back to a time of dreams, and it just crushed me. It really did just crush me.
I think that's when I started getting bitter about a lot of games, because I was really, really looking forward to 1313.
Do you know what? I'm still looking forward to 1313. I mean, if Visceral can take up the project and say, look, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be a cross between 1313 and Uncharted. Fine, I will take it. They cannot screw up any worse than what DICE have done.
This is true. The only thing I want them to do with it, though, is I wanted this. The whole idea of it being a Mandalorian storyline on Nar Shaddaa was amazing. That really appealed because you don't see that stuff.
Coruscant.
Coruscant, right? My bad. Yeah. So the underbelly of Coruscant, the way down the deep levels where nobody ever goes. You never see that stuff. You always see the flashy, pretty stuff, the Jedi or the stormtroopers, that kind of stuff. But you don't really see a lot of the bounty hunters or the Mandalorians or anything like that. Yeah. And other than maybe the occasional Boba Fett story, which Boba Fett's cool.
That's why I was really hoping for that one, because they basically took Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the Nintendo GameCube game, which I loved. I loved that. They've basically taken that and made it next gen. And I was so ready for that. I really was. Especially with all the crap games that we had before then coming out. I mean, come on, Star Wars Masters of the Terrascazi.
Yep.
I mean, come on, what the hell? Street Fighter Star Wars version? And do you know what, Mission? If they did GTA Star Wars, I would even play that. I mean, come on. Be a stormtrooper, just run out and kill anyone. I love that. Jump into a TIE fighter and just mow people down on the street as you're flying. I would play that.
The
I have
problem is,
played Star Wars mods. I mean, there was a fantastic Star Wars mod for, what was it, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
mm-hmm.
That was fantastic. It was brilliant. That I would even play over Battlefront.
Yeah,
I really would.
The only problem with being a stormtrooper is you won't be able to hit shit.
Oh, I know. Well, what do you expect? The eye socket. What do you expect? In the stormtrooper's helmet, the eye sockets are up here, the eyes are here. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and keep in mind, I mean, that's one of my favorite memes. Is you got the guys at the gas station. You got a stormtrooper talking to the stormtrooper pumping gas. He says, "Hey, Steve, don't miss." Fuck you.
Hey,
Fuck you, Mike.
And do you know what, Angela? Do you know what? I will even sit there. I'll even watch Star Wars Clone Wars because it fills in that story between episodes 3 and 4.
Yep.
Or sorry, 2 and 3. It fills it in that story, and I love it. You can actually see Anakin, instead of being a whiny cry about, oh, why don't everyone give me what I deserve? You actually see him developing it into a character, and you see him starting to lose it the further it goes in. Even the latest series on Disney XD, Star Wars Rebels, that is absolutely fantastic. I was sitting there on the edge of my seat during the episode Siege of Lothal, and then the like little mini movie they did for the start of season 2. I was sitting there on the edge of my seat, and I was just like gobsmacked seeing Vader and Ezra just going at it, and then Ezra being pinned to the wall, and like, you know, well, watch it as your master dies. I was on the edge of my seat going, oh my god, this is Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's CG animated stuff for kids, but I am a Star Wars fan.
Yep.
I love Star Wars. I was just sitting there going, oh my god. And then when episode 2 came out, see the clones from the clone series, seeing Rex and the others going along on a walker that they've turned into their home. It's got like tents and whatnot all over it. It's just, oh my god. It gave me one of those Star Wars moments. Oh my god, I'm a kid again. I'm seeing Star Wars for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. And there's so much good Star Wars stuff out there. Even diehard fans will sit there and go, yeah, do you know what? It may be for kids, it may be for this, it may be one thing, it may be the other. But you know what? It's Star Wars. I love it. I'm going to stick with it.
Yep.
I
And that's what it
cannot
boils down
say
to.
the same about Battlefront.
Yeah.
It
But
is,
that's what I'm saying. I think we finally just had enough of the crap they've been cramming down our throats for years.
I get it. It's a Star Wars game. It's not Battlefront. If they had marketed it as anything else, hell, they could have called it Star Wars Galactic. They could have called it Galactic Bullshit of Star Wars. People would have bought it. But the fact that they labelled it Battlefront was its downfall. That's what has killed it before it's even started. And that's what has so monumentally fucked me off. I will admit, I am angry as a Star Wars fan, as someone that has plumbed over £2,500 into Star Wars games, movies, merchandise, so on. I am fucked off about the way they have destroyed something I love so much by slapping a Battlefront title on it and it not being what they delivered on. I'll admit, I bought into the bullshit on this one. For the first time ever with a Star Wars IP, I bought into the bullshit. And it bit me in the arse. I will admit it.
It's hard to do. So it's, you know, the kind of passion that you've got for Star Wars is this. You guys wonder where my rants come from. That passion and drive you see coming out of Ezra right now. That's the stuff that he feels for Star Wars. That's how I am about gaming in general. You guys always ask me where do I come up with my ideas for my rants, and where why do I rant about the stuff that I rant about? Why do I beat a dead horse? That's why. That's exactly why right there. It's rough. You see something that this, a lot of people, well, it's just video games. No, this is my fucking hobby. You guys want to go spend money on music, and you want to go spend money on, drop $4 or $5 on tricking out your car and, getting all these upgrades for the engine. This is my version of that. I build computers as a hobby, or not as a hobby, but it's like a second job. Playing video games is my hobby. This is what I do for fun to relax. People build ships, to collect stamps, trick out their car or collect coins or whatever. That's what they go spend. This is what I spend my money on. And to see it turned around and shit on a regular basis, because if OEM manufacturers treated their car customers and their truck customers and their collector customers the way publishers treat us, there would be riots in the street. They would be lining up at CEOs' doors demanding blood. But oh no, it's just video games. It's a kid's thing. Oh fuck you, it's not a kid's thing. This is what we do. This is what we do for fun. This is how we relax at the end of the day. Go sit down, grab a beer. Blood for the blood god, yes.
Exactly.
This is how, go grab a beer, sit down, stream, goof off, have fun, go play some SWG or TOR, or, give Kavi a hard time, or Angelin, tease him about being Brazilian because, Angelin for the win. That kind of stuff, because this is what bonds us together as gamers and as friends, and why we love doing what we love. And then it gets shit all over, and they take advantage of it, and we're just expected to shut the fuck up and just roll with it. Well, you know what? Fuck you. I've had enough.
Exactly.
I've had enough. And I know Ez has had enough too. We talked about this while, before we started doing the Ordocast, and we were talking about Battlefront and all the stuff that he wanted to go do and all the stuff he was looking forward to it. And it was hard because you could hear it in his voice. He was really excited for this. And then after it came out and he got to go test it, the heartbreak was not a lot of fun to deal with. That was painful for somebody that's known him for as long as I've known him, and the shit that we've been through and the stuff that we've done. To see him sit there, it literally break his heart like his girlfriend had just cheated on him and gone and slept with his best friend. That was the kind of dejection and pain that was coming from him. It sucked.
I will admit, I did buy into the hype train on this one. And
you had every reason to, because everything we had seen up to that point, it looked like it was going to be what we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for that at all, because they fed it to us. They hand fed it to us. The fucking E3. The shit they showed at E3, that was exactly what we wanted to see, and they fucking knew it.
Well, it's like the latest video trailer they've come out with, where the guy's sitting in the office and 2 X-Wings appear. All the game footage they show after he gets in the X-Wing looks fantastic. You won't find it in the game.
Not yet.
No, you won't find it in the game. Because what they show you is the Battle of Hoth. And it's one of those things where they've engineered they've recorded it in the game, but then they've thrown in so much post-processing to make it look better. It's basically what TOR did with their opening
Colonial Marines again.
Yeah, pretty much. It's what TOR did with their opening cinematics. They threw out the cinematics, and everyone expected them to look, the cinematics for the game to be brilliant. They expected them to be fantastic. Mm-hmm. And then only to get like a stylized version. It's sort of similar to what they've done with that. They've done so much post-processing on it. It's unreal.
Well, now to that, World of Warcraft did the same thing. They did the pre-production, CGI cinematics and all that kind of stuff, which is one of the things that drew a lot of us into the game. Mm-hmm. Now they've kind of moved away from that and gone to engine cinematics, which are actually inside the game. And like Angela said, you will find it in the game, but it's in cutscenes. So that it's. I can understand TOR doing that to an extent because that's at the time when TOR was coming out, that was the gold standard. That was how the games were sold and that kind of thing. Because you would have the pre-rendered cinematics that everybody would go do, and it would show the story and all that stuff, which is cool. Honestly, I had no problem with TOR doing that because I didn't expect. That's not what I was expecting when I went into TOR. I knew what kind of game it was going to be, even without seeing it, because I'd been through it with World of Warcraft. If you guys have played that, you look at the old cinematics from Wrath of the Lich King, and then look at World of Warcraft during Wrath. They look nothing alike at all. You got this really stylized, cartoony thing in World of Warcraft versus this amazing graphics that they spent years putting those animations together and building those cutscenes and then the movies and all that stuff. And it's nothing like the game, but it's still a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from with TOR, but it's I don't want to rip them too much for that because I wasn't I was not expecting that when we went in with those graphics. It was a good sell though.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, it's all nice to have the flashy CGI and the flashy graphics to draw you in, but I would be more impressed seeing something built on the engine. Give me a trailer built on the engine. I guess that's kind of what drew me in with Battlefront. When the very first video they released was of their early engine test footage, and it looked beautiful. It was fantastic. It was done on the engine. And I think that's what really drew me in, because for the first time in a very long time, their first video wasn't something all spiced up pretty CGI to draw you in. It was raw footage from the engine.
Well, no, see, again, we got to be careful with that.
That's what drew me in.
Yeah. Well, we got to be careful with that, too, because Colonial Marines did the same fucking thing. The problem was it was all pre-scripted.
Yeah.
Even though it was done inside the engine, it was all scripted, and it was a small segment. And I mean, if you go back, you take a look at the way the aliens moved in Colonial Marines, the game, versus how they acted in the cutscene, or in the game itself, or the pre-scripted crap that they put out. Two totally different things. It's still the same engine; it's still pulled out of the engine, but it was all pre-scripted and was all pre-run. What we need, and the other big thing that a lot of devs are doing now too, is when they do show this footage of in-game, in-engine stuff, it's being done on computers that are specifically designed to run that game at optimally.
True.
It's not something they didn't just bring PCs in and throw them down and put them in there. They specifically set those games up to run that game and that game only for that amount of time.
True, and do you know what? As much as it just pains me to say it, because I really don't want to, if DICE did do anything right, they did live up to their fidelity in it. I mean, what you saw in their early engine test footage is what we get in the game. The animations are beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong, technically it is a beautiful game. It's so stunningly rich. It's so detailed, even on the lowest graphics. I mean, most AAA titles in like the last 2 years, you have to be running something like 30 gig of RAM. Like the latest GTX graphics card and a high-end processor, just get the kind of graphics you get on low settings in Battlefront. As far as the fidelity of their graphics goes, it is absolutely fantastic, and I would love to see more games built on this new redeveloped Frostbite engine.
Yep.
It is fantastic, and it runs so smooth. I mean, when I was doing it, I was running it in Ultimate, and I wasn't losing any sort of frames. My CPU was quite happy to just chug along, just carry on going. Graphics card was fine. I wasn't seeing any spikes in RAM, CPU power, nothing. And I was running the damn thing on Ultimate, and it looked so amazing. From a technical point, they lived up to what they showed us. They just fell down in so many other ways.
Now, to what Mashan's saying, that everybody does those special graphics touch-up, which is true.
Yeah, they do.
And it sells. But then when the Fallout trailer came out, people were bitching about how ugly it was. Here's the thing. The difference is The developer or the
Yeah.
developer and the publisher. DICE, you expect them to put out really well polished, pretty games. Bethesda, not so much. And it's not that we're giving Bethesda a pass, but it's they're more interested in getting the stories and getting the stuff done that makes their games their games.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fallout 4. Personally, I like the way it looked. Because it's very stylized. It's 1940s, 1950s, Cold War-esque kind of thing, which is what it's supposed to look like. People don't like the graphics engine in it because people who've played all the first person versions of the Fallout games, they know exactly what to expect because it's a Fallout game. Same thing with Elder Scrolls. You go play any of the Elder Scrolls except for ESO, they're all it's the engine that they use builds upon itself with every iteration. Same thing with the Fallout games. Fallout 3, New Vegas, all that stuff. That one built up on the next one until we get to where we're at now. They've made a lot of great improvements from the stuff that I've seen, the footage that I've seen so far. The animations are a lot smoother. They're a lot more polished. The combat looks pretty good. It looks fairly polished so far. There's not that disconnect where it looks like when you shoot the guy and he falls over that he's hovering over top of the ground before he falls down. Which is something, if you go back and you watch any of the Fallout stuff, that's what it looks like. Hell, if you even go sit down, if you watch the Storyteller series on YouTube, they're using the New Vegas engine. And it's still got that weird wonky feel to it, but they've kind of fixed a lot of that stuff in Fallout 4 from what I've seen. So it's when you're comparing DICE to Bethesda, that's apples and oranges.
But let's also remember,
two totally different ways of doing games.
But you got to remember as well, when they come out with these trailers, most of the time, these trailers have already been made like a year previously on an engine they haven't even finished writing properly yet. So then that way, when the time comes, they can just go bang, they throw out a trailer. And then the next trailer you see that things have improved. And then another trailer, things have improved. And then when they come out with their ultimate final release trailer, the game looks beautiful, it looks snappy, it looks great. Same thing with the Fallout series.
Unless it's Colonial Marines. Then it was just fucked.
Unless it's Colonial Marines. That's going to be our thing now. You're going to be bugging on Colonial Marines. I'm going to be bugging on Battlefront.
Well, it's not. I'm not bugging on it. It's just to me, the stuff that happened with Battlefront, they sold it in. It may have not been done with the same kind of bullshit ethics that Colonial Marines did, but it was still the same kind of a bullshit sell.
Yeah,
they were feeding people what they knew they wanted to see, and then when you actually get your hands on it, it does not live up to the hype that they were trying to build.
Yeah.
It's like when you promise that you're going to have a fully functional game that can handle anything that you throw at it, and then within the first 10 minutes, when you go blow up a building, the whole fucking server crashes.
Yeah. And then there was silence.
Yeah, no, no, I'm fine, Michonne. It's not that I've got the fan going in the background. The reason I'm blinking a lot is because my eyes are starting to dry out. That's all. I've got a ceiling fan. I forgot to turn it off before we started doing this stuff. So that's all it is. That's why I'm blinking so much. It's not. I'm not tired of getting ready to nod off or anything. It's just my eyes are dry. That's all.
Says
and
the,
that we
says the guy that was ready.
2 hours.
Said the guy that was ready to pass out about 2.5 hours ago.
Well, that's also after I'd pounded fucking 3 beers. After I've been up since 4:30 this morning. I had a friend of mine. I finally have a couch. A friend of mine sold me a couch, so I got up 4:30 this morning. Went to pick up the U-Haul truck. Drove halfway across town to go get that. Came back, dropped it off. Took it up 3 flights of stairs with somebody with a bad back. Dropped the truck off. Then I had to go drive to Atlanta for an appointment. Picked up a friend of mine from there. Drove her back to my parents' place to go pick up my old car because her car got fucking T-boned. And the insurance company is jerking her around. ended up having to jump it off because it's been sitting in my parents' yard for the last 2 months, however long it's been since I got the car. We're having issues with the key because it's 20 years old. It's the only key I've got left. So the tumblers in the ignition don't want to work right. So we went all over town trying to find a keysmith that would cut it the way I wanted it cut. And I didn't get back home until about 2 hours before the cast started tonight. So I've been going nonstop for 14 hours, 16 hours. So yeah, I was a little tired, and I had a couple of beers to kind of relax before we got started tonight.
Pro
So yeah,
tip, everyone,
that's why.
don't drink an Ordocast.
Yeah, well, I'm not with my body weight. 2 or 3 beers is not going to screw me up. I'm completely sober. I'm fine. I was tired early, but now we kind of gotten going. I'm having fun. And it's good. The other thing you guys are seeing too is I can't see Ezva on my screen because he's got his camera feeding through through OBS. So I'm actually, when you see me look down when he's talking, it's because I'm looking down at the actual stream itself,
Yep.
so I can see his face.
It's good that.
Yeah.
It's good that. Got a great little setup. I have all the control. Let's face it, I'm a control freak. Depending on who you talk to. So, I think that pretty much brings us to an end. I mean, unless you guys have any questions, unless you want to ask us, now
We
is
do
the
have a
time
Q&A
to
to
do it.
do. Yeah, so if you guys have anything,
Yep.
if there's anything you guys want to ask.
I guess we can go for, another 10 minutes, make it an hour and 30-minute Ordocast, maybe an hour, 40 minutes, depending on how many questions there are. Now's the time. If not, we're just going to shoot the shit for another 10 minutes.
Yep.
So.
Go off another rant about 1313 in Star Wars.
Yeah, no, let's not do that again. Although, saying that, you are going to hate me.
Why?
VIP seat, number 1, IMAX 3D, Star Wars Episode 7, 17th of December, 11:30 in the morning. Screw you, bitch.
That's okay. That's fine. Squeaky and I are going to go see it too. I have some friends of mine that are coming up from Florida. We're all getting together for this. It's like the first meeting we have for Dragon Con.
Cool.
They're coming up in December. So we're all going to get together for that. We're going to go. I just need to find out what theater they're going to so we can get the tickets. But when Squeaky gets up here or gets down here from New York, we're going to get together and go drive down there. And I'm not going to go to work for 2 days.
Well,
I'm taking that Thursday off.
Well, here, I think as a conscientious fan, I have to go and see it twice. Well, I've got to see it in 3D, and I've got to see it in IMAX.
Normally, Michonne, I would agree with you. But here, at least for us, the 3D stuff is not that much more expensive. Like, for example, I went to go see The Martian 2 weekends ago in 3D. It cost me $3 more. Yeah, now, see, I wear glasses too. But
you can actually get little clip-ons.
Yep. I was just going to say that if you go to the theaters, a lot of times you tell them you wear glasses, they can give you the little clip-ons you can put over top of your eyeglasses.
Yep. Let's see. Any upcoming stuff order? Yes, there is actually a Halloween event. As Zoza just said, there is Black November. There is going to be, I'm sure, Christmas stuff going on. There is going to be probably, I know we've got a couple of more game releases this year, which might get live streamed. There's a lot. As always, go and see Ordo's website. Go and look at the forums. It's all on there.
Yes, it's all up on the calendar. All that stuff is on the calendar. Just for shits and giggles, though. Tomorrow, are you working tomorrow, or you got anything going on tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm working tomorrow.
I've
just had 5 days off. I can't have any more.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say you want to get together and go play some EMU, but that's okay.
We'll see what time allows.
Okay.
Because remember, in about, do you know what? Actually, in about 35 minutes, my clocks go back another hour. So I get to live 1 to 2 o'clock again twice. Means I've got to stay up an hour longer than I expected.
Or you get an extra hour of sleep.
Sleep? What's sleep? I don't get sleep in Ordo. Don't be silly. Do you know what? The last really good night's sleep I had was the night before I came back to Ordo. And I thought, I know, let's bring back the Ordocast.
That was...
I'm a glutton for punishment is what it is.
You are.
And do you know what? I'm now going to have a Zoza rant. Because you know what? Zoza sets up all this stuff. He goes, I know, I've got an idea. I'm going to do this. He gets it set up. But then he goes, okay, yeah. Okay, next thing. Classic example. The YouTube channel. Okay? He gets the YouTube channel set back up after months of bitching and whining at him to get it done because we needed a new one. He gets it set up and then he goes, okay, it's done. Next project. And then just sits and waits for magical cool shit to suddenly start appearing on the channel. Who has to do it? Me. Muggins here. This idiot. I'm going to stop volunteering for stuff. I really am.
I told you to start doing that years ago.
I know. Right, well, that's it. I'm about to get fired. It's been nice knowing you all. I'm going to see you later.
You know what? We've been saying that every week for the last 14 weeks.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, has it been holy shit it has. It's been 14 weeks.
It's actually been longer because there's been a couple where the Ordocast had like a span of 2 weeks or 3 weeks between them. So it's actually been longer than that. It's actually been closer to 19 weeks now. Yeah.
That's crazy,
but
man.
But this is the 14th episode. In fact, our 25th episode comes up in, let's see...
10 weeks, 11 weeks.
Comes in on the 9th or 16th because we probably won't do... We're probably going to have a week off because we're not going to be streaming on December 26th.
Yeah,
day after Christmas.
We have family stuff to do.
Yeah, so it'll probably be around the 16th of January will be our 25th episode. So, yeah, I mean, wow.
That's crazy.
Even the original Ordocast didn't go this far.
No, yeah. How many episodes we had? 12, right?
Actually, no, it did go this far because I think the original had... Well, I know this is officially my 30th Ordocast I've done.
So that means there were 16.
Since I very first come out with it. This is my 30th.
Yeah.
Episode 14 of the new generation, but my 30th Ordocast.
You're starting to sound like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, so there's 16. So once we do 3 more episodes, we'll have surpassed the old Ordocast.
Yeah. That is huge.
It is.
That is... quite an achievement, actually.
Yeah. Ordocast will be around for a long time because we're fun to watch. Well, we're not going anywhere. This is probably even as like we were talking about last week with all the work, especially the work that Ezra puts into this, because 90% of the stuff you guys see, he does. He does a lot of the research. He does all the backgrounds. He does a lot of that stuff. Basically, I just put my ass in the seat, come up with a couple of links, and we shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know.
But we still put about 60 hours a week into this shit.
Are we gonna do one next week? It being Halloween.
Might as well.
Get all dressed up, get face painted, look like zombies and shit like that.
I'll just do the same thing that I did when I went to Dragon Con and just dress up as a fat IT guy.
You really don't want me to comment.
I think everybody would like to see you in your Jedi robes again.
No, I don't think so. Hey, look, I'm already going to be wearing a suit for Black November. That's it. That's costumes done for the year. Me in a suit is a rare enough experience. That is it. That would be Keisho wearing the dress. He looked great in pink frills.
Hey. You know what? That's fine. You know what? I will do that. I will do that. I will go get a flock of seagulls wig, and I will be Ace Ventura for a night.
I tell you what, you wear a blonde curly wig and a pink strappy dress, I will wear Jedi robes. That's the deal.
Okay, we'll do it.
Fine, and if you don't turn up for the pre-show wearing a pink dress and blonde curly wig, that is
I will.
it. That's the deal over.
I may not be able to find the wig, but I'll at least have the dress. I've
No,
got.
you got to have the wig as well. That's the
I will try to
challenge.
find a wig. Actually, I do know somebody who does wigs, so I will try to get a wig.
Okay, next week, guys, you heard it first. Keisho in a blonde curly wig and a pink dress.
No. The pre-show is going to be for the. Oh yeah, I guess it is next week.
Yes, it is next week. Next week is Halloween. Screw you. Nice try.
I forgot. Yeah, it is next week. Yep. So I will. Yep.
You've got a week to get a dress in your size and a blonde
That's
curly
gonna be
wig.
interesting. I'll have to call Omar the tent maker and see if he still does requests.
So, do we have any more questions out there?
Let's see. Any other questions before we call it for the night, fuckers? And don't forget, we do have the meeting right after this, the community meeting. So show up for that too.
Yep, in about 30 minutes.
Yep. Nothing. We've got 30 some odd people watching, and nobody has any questions.
Yeah, remember there was a bit of more of a delay than there usually is.
Well, I know, that's why I typed it out.
Because things are being a little bit stupid today.
Anything? Bueller?
No, right, okay, well, that's
Call it.
Yeah, let's call it. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
It's good. Right, so this was the Ordocast episode 14.
Particle Decay.
Exactly. I'm glad I remembered it wasn't episode 13. In fact, it was 14.
Yes.
Because that screwed me up.
Yeah, we'll get in that story next week.
Shut up. No, you won't.
As always, I'm Kisho.
And I'm Esfer. And make sure you come back and join us next week at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. EST, and midnight GMT for episode 15, yet to be named. That is actually the name of the episode, by the way. Yet to be named.
Yet to be named.
Yeah, that's actually the name of the episode. Yet to be named.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Mostly because I couldn't think of a name for it. I mean, I've already used up all the cool stuff.
And hashtag get Ordo. Make it a thing.
Exactly. And Zoza, no one cares. You're fired. I told you this.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Take it easy.
We'll catch you later, guys. Have fun.
Bye.
Catch you later.